Mr. Aninews was early with this one. We got Soul Leveling at Season 2, Episode 4 cut content. The episode everyone's crying about, saying it's bad, it's mid. No one's really saying that. I'm just saying that to stoke the flames of controversy to get people triggered to engage. Let's go.
It's good to see the fan service goes both ways in Solo Leveling.
Yeah, the back muscles. The backwards ankle back muscles is Sung Jin Woo mining. Yeah, it was nice.
We're still going through the story pretty fast though, so for a dialogue-heavy episode such as this, I'm sure you can already imagine all the little interactions that were left out. Minor things like Chairman Go's desire for a successor, all the way to the introduction.
I think if Chairman has like a daughter, I think that he wants her to marry him. If not, I think he wants to be younger, so that he wants to marry Sung Jin Woo.
Of Korea's former strongest guild known as the Reapers. Sung's reevaluation was definitely the focal point, but amongst that was a lot of lore behind hunters, guilds, and the relationship between them.
Alright.
So if you want to see that and everything else the anime left out, here's all the differences between that, the manhwa, and the novel.
Let's go. Before we get started. But first,
this video is sponsored by Enigma of Sepia.
Got him! Okay, we got a new ad. New gacha game? Anyone heard of this one? Jesus Christ, look at the design over here.
An upcoming brand new mobile anime RPG featuring lots of waifus.
Okay. I actually way prefer, like, this design of mobile game gacha games. I way prefer this. Yo, isn't this straight up Mikasa from Attack on Titan? Or a different girl with a different hair? AOT collab? I don't know. I actually way prefer this kind of style. I don't like the grid style. Like Final Fantasy, sorry, what's it called? The something emblem, right? Oh, fuck, why am I forgetting that right now? Fire Emblem, right? It's like that grid style stuff I don't fuck with. But seeing like design, and I hate, like, I'm sorry, I don't like the Arknights design. I don't like futuristic, like, gun girls furry shit. I way prefer like this kind of design with this kind of movement. Anyways, we got a new game coming. Enigma of Sepia. Jesus Christ, these angles are crazy, huh? These angles are pretty crazy, huh? I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but maybe it's like a game that I would re-roll just to see what kind of units I would get and then go off of that. I don't know if there's actually quality in the gameplay here, if they're gonna actually continue with it, but looks interesting enough. Maybe you should check it out. Here, I'll give you the link. Pre-register. Here it is. Use Mr. Aninews' link. Bomb. Go play the gacha game. Go get addicted to spending money for a 2D JPEG to fill the empty void in your heart, but then realize that she's not real, and then the server shuts down, then you lost your money and time. Anyways, let's start with this content.
I Need to Stop Faking, covering chapters 61 to 66 from the manhwa and chapters 75 to 82 from the novel. With Sung having just defeated Metis, he was now sitting pretty at level 77, on his way to floor 76 and farming demons worth 1700 XP apiece now. That was the minimum reward for demons he came across now, since a new superior type was becoming more and more frequent.
Oh?
They were demons Sung estimated to be as strong as Vulcan. Formidable opponents that made proceeding incredibly difficult.
Boss Hunter mobs.
What caused him to truly become hard-stuck, though, wasn't the lack of food or the tough enemies around every corner, but rather the increasingly difficult terrain that made traversal near impossible.
Terrain?
Last episode I mentioned how the higher the floor, the more destroyed the environment. Well, here in the 70s, everything was just a fiery hellscape.
Never imagined this would impact our progression. Because again, like, this goes into so much more detail about this, right? While the anime kind of like montaged it. And I think yeah, this is not the most important part. This is honestly way better to just kind of like off screen, because who really gives a fuck about farming these random mobs? I personally do not give a fuck. Whenever we're in these kind of shows and we're just like farming for the sake of farming these monsters, I don't care. There's no real stakes to it, unless it was like the first like gatekeeper like Cerberus in season 1 where we were clearly outmatched, right? We don't really care about this. So having a montage scene to really bypass all that, I think was very well done in terms of keeping the pacing concise.
It was so hot that by floor 76, Sung would lose stamina just by standing still. His fatigue bar went up for every little movement now. This was no way to fight high-level demons, and it certainly wasn't the optimal way to clear the tower. So, in order to progress any further, Sung knew he needed to leave and come back with artifacts, defensive items
OP
which would
gears.
make these terrain effects negligible. This brings us to the real reason behind why he wants to get reassessed, because where in the anime it's shown to be out of a desire to continue leveling, in the novel and manhwa it's simply because he needs these artifacts. He can't purchase or sell them without raising suspicion as an E rank, and that in turn means he can't clear the dungeon.
They did mention that in the anime, that why would an E rank be like selling the Eye of Avarice?
That then prevents the elixir of life from being crafted, and that in turn makes it so his mom can't be saved. All this stems from him still being an E rank, so if he wanted to achieve any of it, he first needed to get reevaluated. Such was the conclusion Sung had come to here. Now, there was a small difference in the way Sung's quest reward was revealed, since where in the anime Sung knows he's working towards the elixir of life from the beginning, in the novel and manhwa the recipe is only given to him after the quest is done. It's the undisclosed reward we saw last episode, the part of the blessed random box signifying his desire. I had totally forgot about this myself, but you gotta remember this whole dungeon was from a box telling him it'd give him what he desired.
Gotcha box?
That just so happened to be the elixir of life, so as I'm sure you can guess, Sung's deepest desire is him wanting to bring his mom back. What then will the cursed box give? Well, I guess
They
that's
need
for
it.
the system to decide. Whatever it thinks he needs is what he'll get. This was actually the reward he chose instead of a shop item because Sung figured he could always just get items from the dungeon. Plus, with the shop constantly updating with better items every day, there was a good chance he'd just end up selling whatever shop item he chose. Instead, he figured it was best to gamble on something with a bit more longevity. His final reward was the plus 20 in stats, and all that went into intelligence.
More mana?
It brought his status to this now. Enough to make him feel confident against just about anyone, so that was part of why hiding his powers weren't a necessity anymore. The only thing he needed to confirm before his reevaluation was whether Jinho was able to succeed or not.
He did.
So, one quick phone call revealed negotiations went well, and that was all Sung needed to hear before heading to the association. It was at the assessment office that Sung would be looked down as a delusional E rank because time and time again, an upset low rank would come in looking for a second chance.
That's hilarious. So many people are like, wait, y'all got the system wrong. I can't be E rank. Yo, do me again. This is bullshit. I wonder if they have like a system like, sir, you've been here 17 times now. Our machines are correct. Sir, you need to stop doing this.
The chief believed this to be just another
1 second. Audio issue 3, 2, 1, and we are good.
of those cases, so he urged the clerk to push Sung forward as fast as possible. To him, low-rank hunters like this were people you just couldn't reason with. No, it was far easier to just have them pay the fee and face reality themselves.
I mean, they have to pay for it. It's not free, so actually it's like free money, so I guess it's not that big of an issue.
This particular case had caught the chief's attention though because something about Sung's name seemed familiar.
The name is familiar? Does it relate to the dad? Does he know the dad in the past?
That's when he remembered Beck specifically asked to be notified
Never
if
mind.
he ever showed up, leading to an immediate phone call straight to his office.
Got it.
Beck would then request to know Sung's rank as soon as it was taken, resulting in the chief having to witness the reevaluation himself.
That's crazy that Beck told the guy to let him know immediately if Sungjin would show up, and despite that, Guildmaster Che showed up first. Mr. Flame Magic Aizen was there first before Beck.
He personally didn't think anything of it though, because when a similar scenario happened about 3 months ago, that turned out to be a big fat nothing burger. It was a false alarm just like most of the other reawakenings. The only reason the chief decided to check up on this one then was mainly to humor Beck and the relationship he had with him. I mean, it was after all quite profitable to be a guild informant. Now, it was during the time that
Here's a fun thought process. He already told Che before Beck. Yup. Che paid him even more to be there early. Sure, fuck it, why not?
Sung was waiting that the anxiety of the people around him would make him nostalgic. He couldn't help but smile as he remembered the way his own mind raced during this process. He had first imagined all the possibilities with his own rank, then extended that curiosity to the ranks of the people around him. Such was the natural mindset for those getting evaluated, and it was being exemplified again by the people around him.
But would they not have known kind of like where they would be? Like, would you not know? Like, if you really awakened and you see your powers, won't you be like, ah, shit, I think I'm E rank, man. Yo, my powers fucking suck. I can't do anything. Maybe they're all coping that there's innate potential that even though the powers got awakened, because they haven't fully mastered using their powers, they're like overestimating, like, listen. I think I'm right now at probably D rank, but with enough, training, maybe I'm truly A rank, and then they hope and cope.
The only difference between now and 5 years ago was the presence of a whole bunch of recruiters. These weren't the recruiters you'd find from the Hunter or White Tiger Guild though, but rather a more parasitic bunch working for the small to mid-level guilds. They were a more desperate type seeking just about anyone.
Okay, the shit jobs.
Why, might you ask, would that be? Well, because smaller guilds don't get a lot of applicants, it was only natural that they take the initiative themselves.
Makes sense.
The big guilds typically weren't very interested in low-rank recruits, so that left a whole bunch of hunters fresh for the picking right out of evaluation. Now, the reason I call them parasitic is because recruiters like these feed off the fact a lot of these low-level hunters are desperate. They know they can easily sway them with an attractive offer, but what they conveniently leave behind is that they're recruiting them for certain death.
I mean, it goes both ways, right? It's kind of like in real life too, where a lot of desperate applicants are poached by like these like low-level fucking companies because the companies themselves know that like nobody wants to work here, but at the same time, the low-value employees don't really have any chance to get into like high-ranking companies. It's a mutually beneficial mid-off.
What I mean is that with every small guild wanting to become bigger, they'll often try to clear gates stronger than they can handle. That in turn leads to lots of accidents, and that translates into a high mortality rate. So, with the high mortality rate leading to lots of vacancies, recruiting new hunters became doubly important for these guilds. It's the core reason behind why their recruiters are always present here. Time would then pass as multiple hunters went in and out, and for each that exited with a dejected look, every recruiter would avoid them like the plague. It seems as desperate as they were, none wanted anything to do with E-ranks.
If you're E-rank, you might as well just fucking retire, bro. There's no point. Why even try? What a waste of time it is, bro. Literally do something else in life.
This is why rank is so important, because not only was it the determination of how powerful you were, it also clearly defined how much money you could make.
The hell's that back muscle? Holy shit.
Which good money could start to be made, because that's the threshold where options started to open up for you.
And that's the rank that the guy got, right? The background character dudes that was like, oh, please, my divorced wife and my daughter, if I'm more than E rank, maybe they'll come back. I think bro landed C rank.
You could either make money by acting as a freelancer or join a guild and be in a more secure position. Either way, the salary of a C ranker was typically equivalent to that of a doctor or lawyer.
What? Damn, what the fuck? A C rank's making that much money? That means that even a D rank would be living a pretty decent life. Like, C rank, you're making as much money as a doctor or a lawyer? You're pretty much like upper middle class. That means that D rank, you're not going to be making like, you're probably closer to making average salary. Like D rank sounds pretty good too then.
Plus the massive signing bonus they got if they joined a guild. So, this was the rank the nervous guy was hoping for, while the confident one actually came out with an E rank.
Womp womp.
This led the nervous guy to let Sung go first, bringing us to the whole evaluation process. It's here that once again Sung would be looked down on as a delusion.
All the hunters who come in for a reevaluation are E rank. Jeez, what a bunch of fucking losers.
E rank, but since the money was paid, the tester would proceed with the evaluation anyway. The chief would then enter right as the machine was bugging out, confirming the first S rank since Cha's evaluation 2 years ago.
Let's go, 10th hunter.
He would then explain how the S rank isn't an actual ranking, but rather a special grouping for those who can't be measured.
Immeasurable, which implies that like there's a big range of S rank, right? Because this is an unquantifiable number. So far, there's different breakpoints from E, D, C, B, A. Some sort of measures that shows that, all right, this is like that range. S rank is now, we don't know. There are levels. Like, even if you're S rank, there could be such a big gap between any type of S ranks, if you know what I'm talking about.
So, There's no actual indication for how strong the S-rank hunters are in comparison to each other because the levels at which they're measured aren't quantifiable. The only way to know for sure is for them to fight. Now,
I think that is way more cooler, right? I think a part of that makes it so much more cooler because like we're definitely going to be power scaling into the territories of S rank as we further the stories of solo leveling. So many different S ranks are probably going to show up, and there's a good chance that Sung Jin Woo just immediately fucking flexes on all these loser S ranks, where the S ranks of interest may even feel like A or B ranks, right? Like there's fucking levels. Like the different breakpoints no longer exist. Who knows exactly how strong Sung Jin Woo is compared to other S ranks?
It was while all this was going on that Choi would be with Woo, discussing both the Redgate incident and the ant mutations. He was basically asking if Hwang Dong-soo was the mystery person, then wanted to know how the investigation of the ant in Japan was going.
Flying ants.
The former was denied since Woo was there personally, then if the latter did in fact prove ants could fly to other countries, a draft would be instated forcing hunters to fight against them.
Here we go.
It didn't matter what guild they were from. Every hunter deemed necessary would be ordered to fight them.
Everybody got enlisted.
It was a mandatory enlistment Choi had no problem getting behind. Shortly after, Choi would hear all the commotion, not because the building was close, but rather because he had a special sensitivity for these types of things. In fact, despite Woo not being able to hear a thing, Choi could hear everything clear as day. He knew pretty much instantly that an S rank had been evaluated. It was back in the lobby that every recruiter would be too stunned to move since
they can't poach him. The recruiters definitely don't know. They know that, like, listen, there's no way we'll be able to, recruit this guy. This guy has too many options. He's not desperate. We are not worthy to take an S rank in.
This was a level they'd never dealt with before. Like, if he was ranked C, then they would have just formed a line to talk to him.
Okay.
If he was ranked B, then everyone would be yelling attractive offers and guaranteeing him high-ranking spots right from the get-go.
What about A?
It was a chaotic method that actually worked more times than you might think, mainly because many people preferred to be the head of the snake over the tail of the dragon. That chaos then settled down if the hunter was an A rank, because the A rank was where the large guilds got involved.
Okay.
Special privileges were given which the small and medium guilds couldn't even offer. Things
like this is like the difference of getting a job at like Google or like fucking Meta. Like I want to leave at Amazon versus like working for like no-name companies. Like this is like all like unlimited vacations, ridiculous fucking signing bonus, the best like in-house cafeteria, fucking buffet style lunch, all free, lunch stipends, extra like allowance, fucking unlimited amount of like fucking massages and all that bullshit perks.
It's like a guaranteed position in the main strike force and lots of financial rewards to go along with it.
Okay.
There was also always the option to start your own guild, because when you're at the A rank, you're powerful enough to attract other hunters to you. Not so many as to create a large guild, but certainly enough to establish a smaller medium one.
Wonder if Jinwoo would ever do that, but he doesn't need to, right? Because he already has Jinho. Most likely he's going to be just with Jinho, right? Ride or die. But it'd be pretty cool to see if like a hunter was so influential they kind of left and started their own thing. It's kind of like an anime studio. It's like an anime studio where like best talents are like, fuck it, why are we dealing with this bullshit? Let's just leave and find our own studio.
So, what happens then when an S rank is unveiled? Well, none of the recruiters would even try and talk to him.
It's too much.
That is, unless they tried to act as his agent. Reason being that they knew recruiting him themselves would be impossible, but perhaps if they got into his good books, maybe they could be the one to send Sung on his way to one of the larger guilds.
Start glazing.
There was quite a bit of money to be made in being an S rank's agent too.
What? These agents and these recruiters? Bro, it's pretty interesting to see the whole like, the system, the economy, the industry, right? These recruiters, right? The signing bonuses, like, oh, if they get a big cut, if they're able to secure like high talent. I mean, it's basically like real life too, with like, sports and athletes and, rappers or blah, 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 right? You got new talent showing up, then you got like a middleman trying to guide them way into the right place.
So, the success of that quickly diminished any thoughts of the ridicule of failure, since one was momentary while the other lasted forever.
I have the power of persuasion that's second to none. Bro says, coping with sweat falling down. Does our guild even have enough funds to recruit an S rank hunter? Nope.
It was right as the recruiters were about to make their move, though, that Choi would walk in, stopping all of that. It was an entrance
Aura.
that Sung was actually very grateful for, since it pretty much removed all the pressure on him instantly. Choi would then be so focused on making the Hunters Guild the strongest in the world that he didn't even consider the possibility of Sung saying no. You see, the moment Sung mentioned
Bro knew he's that like entitled, and he should be, right? That like, who could ever deny us? We are the cream of the crop. Everybody wants to join our guild. There's no way he would, reject us, right? Wrong.
how he hadn't chosen a guild yet, Choi had already started imagining his status as a global superpower.
You know what would be kind of funny? And this would be very minus aura for Guildmaster Che over here. Is when Sung Jin-woo rejects him, that instead of his cool glasses flaring like this, it would crack. It would like shatter because of his shock that like, he's like, wait, what? You rejected me?
That was how much power a guild with 3 S ranks had. In the end, Sung would disregard Choi just like how we saw in the anime. Beck's timely arrival would indicate he knew about Sung before this, then the random hunter hoping for the C rank would come out, revealing he got it.
Let's go! He's gonna get his wife and daughter back, maybe.
Moving on to the hospital now, Woo's first words to Sung were actually about the double dungeon. He wanted to know if Sung was the one who cleared it.
And remember, C-rank means that he's gonna be making fucking doctor money now. Yeah, he's gotta fucking, risk his life, but bro gonna be making that doctor money.
This, I believe, is relatively important because at the end of the whole conversation with Chairman Go after this, Sung finally states that it wasn't him. It was a firm response that kept the mystery of the double dungeon open. Something to keep in mind for both the reader and the association.
Go back, isn't he lying here?
Sung finally states that it wasn't him. It was a firm response that kept the mystery of the
No. He's right. He was there, but like obviously he lost, right? Everybody ran off and he was sacrificed at the altar, but then the courage of the weak thing popped up, and then he, I guess, then was on track to become the Shadow Monarch. So he never defeated them. They just disappeared by themselves.
Double dungeon open. Something to keep in mind for both the reader and the association. This also confirmed Sung wasn't masquerading as a false ranker, since if he really did have the power he had now, both Go and Woo knew he wouldn't have let his comrades die like that.
True.
Woo would then ask Sung to meet the chairman, not as an order,
Unless he's such a fucking menace that he would have just let them all die like that, but that's not his character.
or a request to an association employee, but rather as a favor of great importance. It was an ask that clearly meant a lot to Woo, since accompanied with it was a deep bow Sung never would have expected from him.
Deep
What
bow.
went to intrigue Sung the most, though, was the fact Korea's strongest hunter was there to see him. Whatever the conversation was gonna be, Sung knew it would be more than just an attempt to recruit a powerful hunter to the association. Combine this with the fact Chairman Go wasn't someone anyone could just simply meet, and that made Sung more curious than you can imagine.
VIP service.
To put into context just how significant he was, not only was he president of the country's most influential organization, he was also a member of the National Assembly and the country's first S rank on top of that.
Jesus!
So, with political and financial giants across the globe begging to talk to him, passing this up wasn't something Sung believed he could afford.
That's right, he even made note of like, this is a very influential person. With this guy's backing, it opens up so much opportunities. He might as well be like the most important person in Korea in solo leveling world.
At least not yet anyway. It was before the
We should just make him be our sugar daddy.
two could meet, though, that there was first a cutscene where Chairman Go was talking to his doctor. It was a scene which not only emphasized Mr. Go's deteriorating health, but also his dire need to find a replacement.
He doesn't have much time left. He's gonna die. Yeah, Chairman Go is probably gonna die. I don't know when. It's probably gonna be very sad, but it's just looking like he doesn't have much. I mean, the show is literally telling you that he doesn't got much time left, and Gogun, he did make that specific comment that like perhaps he could be ... Need a successor, and Jinmu, will he be the successor? Maybe, I don't know.
With the doctor calling it a miracle that he could even walk, the only advice he could give was for Go to take a break. This was unfortunately something he couldn't afford to do because the guilds around him were growing stronger by the day. They were practically as powerful as an entire country's military now.
And he needs to keep them in balance.
With him being the only thing keeping the association on even footing with these guilds, To step aside would mean to let the floodgates open.
We need Jinwoo to be the pillar of balance. With such an ultimate power like him, everyone else can remain in harmony.
It would effectively allow the guilds to do whatever they want. There would be no authoritative figure under which they had to fear repercussions anymore. This is why Chairman Go can't retire, since he's essentially the monolith symbolizing health and power for the association. It was then that one phone call would reveal the potential to change that, leading to a meeting where finding a successor was actually the underlying purpose. At first he wasn't planning to do so, but after seeing the determination in the way Sung spoke, Go knew he was someone who could definitely be worthy of leading the association. He most certainly had the power to, so the only thing that remained to be seen was his character. So, as the conversation kicked off with what the association was offering, a good example was used to show the different lifestyle of association hunters. Like, where you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who even knew Woo's name. Had a person like Kim lived and become a member of the main strike force, he would be known as a celebrity everywhere. He would be more famous and make more money, despite very clearly being less powerful than Woo. Why then would Sung want to become a member of the association? Well, the core underlying reason was, as we saw, balance.
But like, who cares about that? Everyone is out here for money and fame. Nobody wants to join this place. The only place, the people that would actually join the Hunters Association are genuine people who don't give a fuck about money and actually cares about this like philosophy of maintaining balance, which I guarantee you, who the fuck actually cares about that genuinely? Who would risk their life to do all this shit to do this stuff? It really takes a man of character and principles and, you know, like these different like moral ethics, I guess, that would want to serve. You are literally a public servant here. Everyone else is joining, you know, fame. They're basically mercenaries getting rewarded, you know, for their pay. People like Manager Wu, these are actual public servants that are like, for the people, for the country, we must serve them.
Sung was well aware magic beasts weren't the only monsters out there, so he fully understood why such a balance was.
Yeah, and then you got this guy, yeah. and then you have Kang right over here, who abuses the position to, you know, just go and kill people. Yeah, there's that type too.
So he fully understood why such a balance was important to maintain. He knew losing it would mean risking control over powerful beings that couldn't be controlled. This wasn't what Sung was thinking about though, as what he was focused on instead was the successful path only Chairman Go could offer. Any large guild could provide fame and fortune, but only Mr. Go could have you sit at the National Assembly while also granting access to the government, association, and press.
The network.
It was an incredible amount of influence that only he could provide. Now, the reason Sung's statement here resonated so deeply with Go was because fighting monsters was something he never got to do. By the time he had awakened as Korea's first S rank, he was already too old to fight in the dungeon.
Really? Oh. I thought that he was already such a veteran. He's been always fighting, and that's why he has these crazy scars on his face.
This forced him to look for other things to do, resulting in the creation of the Hunter Association. So, Go would use his fame to gather all sorts of powerful hunters, establish an association built around him, secure a spot within the National Assembly.
This is from Gate, right? It is, yes. This is the white hair, the white shirt lady that got called a fucking idiot by Rory Mercury. I remember this scene. This is fucking hilarious.
Then help create laws that kept hunters.
I hate this bitch, bro. Oh god, she is so hateable. What? Oh my god. Are you an idiot?
In check. For as much as Chairman Go had accomplished though, he would always regret not being able to fight like how Sung so adamantly wants to. So to hear such passion from someone so powerful, well, his weak heart now pumped faster than ever.
Doki Doki, yo, careful, bro. We don't want him to have a fucking heart attack.
Despite the doctors saying it was ready to quit at any time, Chairman Go now felt as lively as ever.
Doki Doki.
The rest of the conversation went pretty much as we saw, aside from some additional context that needs to be...
Wait, whoa. You gonna wine and dine him, bro? Ho. I wonder if he likes to drink? He does, but he can't get drunk anymore, so it's kind of sad.
Said about Go's drinking comment. There was an interesting saying that was lost in both the manhwa and anime.
Yeah, what is
It
it?
was after asking if Wu would join him for a drink that Go would mention how the cup size of a man's drink determined the extent of the world he could take.
Okay. This is an actual thing in Korean. It's basically Korean idioms. Basically, these phrases or sayings. There's a saying called like, this person is a big bowl. 큰 그릇. 그릇 means like bowl. 큰 means like big. And basically, when you call someone saying like, damn, this person's a big bowl, which sounds ridiculous. I know. In English, it sounds ridiculous, right? To call someone a big bowl basically means like the depth of that person, the amount of thought process, how well thought, how he sees beyond what is just short term or what is immediate. It is able to think in a deeper level. You are a big bull. It's fucking stupid, right? It's ridiculous.
Add that to this scene here, and Go's fascination with Sung's ability to drink makes a lot more sense.
That's such a boomer fucking line, bro. I can't. Couldn't get it. Oh my god. Nostalgic lines.
He wanted to see how much of the world Sung could make his own. This serves as an interesting bit of nuance since it ties back to Sung's ability to drink infinitely.
Yeah, you can keep. That's right. His bowl is infinite because he can't get fucking drunk.
It's a clever nod I personally really like towards Sung's character.
Cool.
The novel then proceeds to rearrange some stuff I know we'll be getting next episode, but there was one scene we probably won't be getting for sure.
What?
It was the moment.
Also, wait, what is the literal interpretation of the big bowl thing is the fact that alcoholics then must be really good people, huh? Is that what you're not implying? Because, okay, when I hear that, when I remember that line, that Korean idiom of like, you know, 큰 그릇, the interpretation of alcohol is never mentioned. But in this example, we're talking about alcohol. In this context, therefore, it sounds like a person who is an alcoholic and can drink a shitload, right? Someone that's a heavyweight in drinking alcohol, right? Is basically a good person.
The Reapers Guild got news of a new S rank themselves. The chief got word.
Oh, what is this? Reapers, the other guy. They call him the Fiend Guild, but this is the Reapers. Im Taegyu. And again, what a fucking bullshit English spelling. Anyone reading this is gonna read Lim. But guess what? Lim is not a real fucking last name in Korea. It's Im. I-M. So why the fuck did you put an L there? How does that make any sense? Why would you do this? This is the thing I never understand about Korean to English fucking translations. Who the fuck is adding these bullshit letters?
The chief got word from his contact at the association, but when he called to find out more about who this new S rank was, his contact not only informed him he'd just been fired, but also took full accountability for the wrong he'd committed. As it turns out, Chairman Go found out people were leaking information, then took it upon himself to fire those people personally.
Gasp! This
was something he'd never done before, so the fact he was doing so now really got the Reaper Guildmaster thinking.
Wait. Wasn't this guy working for Peck? Why isn't guild leader Beck getting punished for fucking telling this guy to contact me immediately if Sung Jin-woo fucking shows up and leak? Why the fuck is the messenger a double agent? Oh, okay. This is spoilers. Double agent? I mean, we got the stock footage, so it's actually not this guy. Okay, it's a different guy. Different guy. Okay. Different guy. Stock footage.
Chairman Go found out people were leaking information, then took it upon himself to fire those people personally. This was something he'd never done before, so the fact he was doing so now really got the Reaper Guildmaster thinking. He couldn't help but wonder if maybe the chairman had some sort of vendetta against him. I mean, why forbid the leak of Sung's identity now when the same measures weren't taken 2 years ago with Cha?
Yeah, the leak has to do with, obviously, this is the grace period, right? You got reassessed, but you're not going public just yet. Don't fucking announce this shit.
Combine this with the fact Choi and Beck already have this information, and that really made it seem like things were working against him. The chairman had also facilitated Beck's departure from the Reapers Guild, so you could say Mr. Go single-handedly orchestrated the Reaper Guild's downfall.
departure. So he used to be part of the Reapers and kind of left and found the White Tiger Guild. And I mean, the Reapers, not gonna lie, it's a pretty shady name, bro. If you name your fucking guild the Reapers, I don't know. It's just bad vibes, right? Stereotypically, I'm just gonna assume that you're shitty people.
Where it was once the #1 guild in the entire country, it now struggled to keep up with the top 2.
And here's another thing too, right? It probably has to do with like power balance, right? Kogani exists to maintain the balance of, you know, the harmony, the well-maintained harmony within the guild. So it's probably better to literally dismantle the Reapers if they're stacking up so many strong people.
I'm gonna quickly switch things over to the scene with Hwang Dong-soo now because while it was for the most part the same, there was good reason for the deputy chief asking the question that he did. The reason he wasn't fully convinced Il-hwan was a monster was because clear footage showed him saving people from the destruction.
That's right.
The chief had never heard or seen of monsters.
This is after he beat the fuck out of Hwang Dong-soo, right? Because in the anime, none of this shit was shown. In the anime, he clapped his ass off, screened him, and disappeared. But I guess he was saving people here.
Doing that, so he genuinely thought maybe Hwang was mistaken. Hwang then countered by asking if he'd ever heard of a human emerging from a gate, providing a fair enough argument for the chief to accept. He would then say nothing on where Il-hwan was going and instead focus solely on getting revenge himself. All he needed was a couple of artifacts, of which his guild had plenty. In fact,
the gear.
if they added up the value of all the artifacts the Scavenger Guild possessed, the total would easily surpass the annual budget of a small nation.
Wow.
So, suffice to say, Hwang was quite confident.
Is the gears that OP? They're really hyping up these artifacts, man. I mean, okay, I believe you.
This brings us to Sung's own perusal of artifacts, leading to that revelation artifacts were expensive. Like, even with 1.7 billion won saved up, that still wasn't enough to buy anything useful.
Bruh.
This made it clear just how difficult it was for a hunter to thrive, since with good items ranging from the millions to billions, there was a good chance a hunter
And then there's Jinho, bro, with the fucking cash shop items, the battle pass.
would spend their lifetime unable to purchase any on personal funds alone.
Flex.
So, with money needed now more than ever, Sung knew he would have to wait for his S rank. The thing is, his official reassessment was still 2 days away. There was a moment when Sung believed his refusal to join the association would make that longer, but Go's heartfelt smile was one Sung believed to be genuine. After 4 years of minding hunters and reading their expressions, he got pretty good at knowing exactly how other people really felt about him.
Okay.
Sung still wanted to do something in the meantime though, so searching the recruitment boards was the only thing he could do. It was as he did that he would notice a lot more opportunities available than ever before. As for why, well, it turns out Sung's monopoly over C-rank gates had left a lot of people jobless. He had left freelance
No, that's terrible. Womp womp.
without work for a week, and now it seemed like they were trying to clock in some overtime.
They're broke.
C-rank gates
Song Jinwoo took all their jobs.
had zero value to him now though, so while it would have been nice to freelance in a B or A rank gate, you'd never find a makeshift squad trying to do those. If you did, you'd essentially be signing up to die. So that forced Sung to search somewhere else, leading to his position as a miner. Now, rather than start that and stop
muscles.
halfway through, I think here's a good place to end the episode.
Okay.
Once again, there was an assortment of small cuts and big cuts, but overall I think the anime's still doing fine. Let me know in the comments whether you agree or disagree, and if
I enjoyed it. A lot of people are complaining about cut stuff, but source material viewers are always going to complain about cut stuff, and rightfully so. If we think about this material that was cut off, like a little bit of characterization of Il-hwan, you know, saving people that we didn't get to see in the anime, or even like the Shadows interactions, right, with, you know, how, you know, Ignis was bringing the head, and then Iron was trying to compete and stuff like that's really cute to me. But as an anime only, even if those things were omitted, to me, the episode itself is able to convey the story to me in a concise enough way that I appreciate it. Here's a link to Aninews' video. Please go give it a like. Check out his channel if you haven't. I'll see you guys next time.